If your leads feel too expensive, this video is about fixing that by focusing on the right things in the right order. Now, after working behind the scenes with companies like GymLaunch, Elite CEOs, and Conversionly and seeing millions in spend across service businesses, the pattern is always the same. As markets mature, trust drops, skepticism rises, and buying behaviors shift, which causes systems that used to work to convert less effectively. Now, when that happens, leads don't suddenly get worse, your leverage does. Now, in this video, I'll walk you through the exact sequence of fixes that brings lead costs down without cutting growth. And here's exactly what you're gonna walk away with. First, how to tell if your leads are actually expensive or if you're just leaking value after they come in. Second, what you should fix first if you want costs to come down without killing your momentum. And third, how to stop reacting emotionally to lead costs and start fixing the real problems that lie underneath. Now, before we get into the fixes, you need to understand why this problem shows up in the first place. Think of it like a credit card, right? The limit didn't change, but the spending habits did. Same card, same limit. But now you're buying things with a little bit more often. Fees add up, interest creeps in, and suddenly the card is maxed out even though nothing obvious has changed. Now, that's exactly what happens with leads. As markets mature and trust drops and skepticism rises and buying behavior shift, people hesitate more, they compare more, and they ghost more. And when that happens, the same system that used to work quietly in the background starts to feel expensive and fragile. Most people misdiagnose this. They see cost per lead go up and assume traffic is broken, but 9 times out of 10, the problem isn't where the lead came from, it's what happens after the lead comes into the system. Leads didn't get worse, the system just isn't built for how people buy today. Now, let's walk through these fixes. And this part matters a lot because this is where people usually hear advice, but miss the logic. Yes, you should track the entire customer buying journey, but no, you should not try to fix everything all at once. Your job is not optimization, your job is to create leverage. Now, this starts with fixing the right thing at the right time in the right order. Now, fix number 1 is the offer. We start with the offer because it's the fastest way to change the math. When leads feel expensive, most people obsess over cost per lead, but the real question isn't where the lead comes from, it's why someone should say yes right now. And then you look at things like faster delivery, more done for you, less perceived risk. Sometimes the biggest improvement doesn't come from adding more, it comes from removing friction. Shorter timelines, clearer outcomes, cleaner promises. Think of the offer like the engine. If it's weak, no amount of tuning the rest of the car matters. A better converting offer instantly makes every lead cheaper without touching the traffic. Now, once the offer is solid, now we look at the movement, which brings us to fix number 2. Find the bottleneck, right? Because yes, you should track every step of the customer buying journey, the landing page, the opt-in, the booking, the show rate, the close, the follow-up, but here's where people get stuck. They try to fix everything at the same time instead of asking this one question. Where is the bottleneck right now? Here's the exercise that I recommend you do. If you close really well, but not enough people are coming through your door, your problem isn't the back end. Your biggest lever is the front end. You need more attention, higher click-through rates, better hooks. But if traffic and leads look fine and the back end sucks, ads aren't your problem, conversion is. So you wanna fix the narrowest point first, then reassess, then move to the next bottleneck. That right there is leverage and not chaos. And once you know where the bottleneck is, messaging becomes everything. And that leads us to fix number 3. You want to build a testing ground for your messaging. This is where most people essentially flip the order. Ads are not where you test your ideas. Ads are where you scale winners. You need a testing ground where you're constantly testing hooks, angles, offers, positioning with your market to lower pressure and get real feedback. And content is actually perfect for this. One of the best results I've ever gotten for a client came from this exact approach. We created weekly YouTube videos and tested different ways of positioning the offer, different problems, different promises, and different angles. From that testing, we pulled the winner and turned it into an ad and a lead magnet. That single asset became the best performing lead magnet in the company in terms of actual sales generated. So you wanna think of this like a lab. You test, you observe, and then you scale. And once you know what resonates, ads stop feeling risky. But the moment someone opts in, the conversation isn't over. Now, real quick pause here because this is where a lot of people get stuck. If you're listening to this thinking, okay, I get it, but I don't know how to actually build this, that's normal. Knowing what to fix and installing it correctly are 2 very different things. And this is literally what I work on with clients. So if you want help building these systems the right way, you can check out buildleverage.io. And that's where I work with service businesses and consultants to install these fixes inside their funnel follow-up, and content systems so they actually run without consistent babysitting. Let's get back to the video. Now, fix number 4 is nurture with market sophistication in mind. This is where most nurturing breaks. Markets aren't flat, they're really just layered. There are 5 levels of market sophistication, and those 5 levels are: some people are aware, some people know they have a problem, some people are solution aware, some people are comparing options, and some people are ready to buy. Now, if your follow-up treats everyone the same, it feels irrelevant to most of your list. As sophistication rises, so does skepticism, and that means your messaging has to match your awareness level. Education for beginners, clarity for comparers, proof for the skeptics. Nurturing isn't just reminders, it's actual relevance. Now, when your messaging lines up with where someone is actually at, the conversion feels easier instead of being forced. And when nurturing is aligned, content starts to do double duty, which leads us to fix number 5, which is organic content as an ongoing nurture. If you remember, fix number 3 was about testing messaging for ads, and this is about reinforcing that messaging organically. Organic content isn't just acquisition, it's ongoing nurture for people already in your list. The short clips, the long form content, the emails, same core ideas, different formats and modalities. This is how you stay relevant without selling every single time. It keeps the conversation warm between touch points, and the more someone hears you explain the problem clearly, the less convincing you have to do later. And at that point, it's just trust that's compounding, and trust is the game changer that changes everything. Which leads us to fix number 6, which is referrals and repeat buyers. Look, here's the simple truth. The easiest sell is the second one, or the referral from someone who already trusts you. People like you know people like you, and people who bought once are far more likely to buy again. So if you're only chasing first-time buyers, you're playing on hard mode for absolutely no reason. Ask, track, and encourage it. Referrals close faster. Repeat buyers require less convincing, both reduce pressure everywhere else in the system. And finally, there's one thing that quietly amplifies all of this fixes put together, and that's fix number 7, which is more proof and less persuasion, right? This one is super simple, and you can argue it, or you could just show proof. Reviews, testimonials, case studies, these don't lower the cost per lead directly, but they raise the conversion everywhere else. The same exact traffic, the same funnel, and less friction, because when skepticism is high, proof does the heavy lifting so you don't have to. And that brings us back to the core idea. Lead costs don't go down when traffic gets cheaper. It goes down when leverage goes up. And that's exactly why this order of fixes matter. Now, here's the next problem that this creates. Knowing what to fix is one thing, installing it so it runs without you watching dashboards all day is another. So here's the deal. If this video gets 10 likes, I'll break down exactly how to install these fixes inside your funnel, your follow-up system, so they work automatically without you constantly guessing or reacting. And zooming out for a second, if this way of thinking about lead cost and leverage feels different than what you usually hear, that's because it is. This isn't just marketing fix. It's a way of looking at business through a leverage lens instead of effort. Now, if you want to go deeper on that, I did a full breakdown on the 4 levers of the information age and how they create outsized returns without more time, people, or spend. If this video clicked for you, that one will take it a step further, and you're just going to want to click right here.